we hope you're all cozy in your favorite Christmas pajamas as we get comfy in front of the fireplace.
It's our favorite spot during the holidays. Chad Lyer is joining us now from Aero Service Team. Chad, welcome back to the show, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, Chad. So as we mentioned, we have this beautiful fireplace here with the stockings hanging over it. Of course, you saw a picture of mine earlier, but people have to remember the history of how it started and safety.
Yeah, like let's get into the safety first.
Yes.
So we're a fire and water damage restoration company. If things are too close to the fireplace, within 3 feet, they say that's considered a combustible. You could have a problem. So anything like this, I don't know if I would trust that it's labeled as non-combustible. So it's perfectly fine to hang stockings by the fireplace, but if you're going to have a fire, it may be a good idea to move them away.
Especially if it's a wood fire, right?
Yes.
I would say if it's a natural gas fire behind the glass, you'll probably end up being okay. But that wood fire, it really actually could catch that on fire pretty quick.
Oh, absolutely. You know, just a spontaneous combustion.
Yeah,
So-
and then before you know it, you've got your stocking on fire, and then your Christmas tree is right next to it. Then your Christmas tree catches on fire, and you're like, oh my God.
It is.
We're going to the worst place scenario, which is in my mind all the time when you have high anxiety. But this is a good reminder, and especially talking about the bubble lights. I think I'm going to take those down when I get home because it's so important. You don't want to ruin the holidays with a terrible tragedy or, you know, loss of...
No, I mean, the only thing worse is put the fire with water. Then you need all our services.
Right. and I make it light of what could be a terrible situation in all seriousness.
We're trying to prevent that situation.
Absolutely. I know you are, and that's what we always say I love about you guys at Aero, is you're trying to prevent what would eventually, I mean, call it what it is, will make you some money, but being preventative and being there for our community is what sets you guys apart. So thank you for that.
That's what we try and do.
But you want to talk about the history of stockings as well.
Okay, this is kind of crazy. I got drawn to the fireplace. I was kind of driving home the other night. I'm like, what's the best part about Christmas? I'm like, at my house I have a wood burning stove and like the fireplace, the smell, you know, whatever. And then I started to look into like how stockings came to be. And I don't know why I did this, but it started with like, there was a poor family, a couple girls, 3 girls, and they had a visitor by the name of St. Nicholas, and the girls were in a real tough spot. You can look it up online if you want to see exactly how bad it was, but it wasn't good. And he felt so bad for these girls, and they had hung their socks up like on the edge of the fireplace to dry them because they washed their clothes. And so the lore is he threw either through the window or through the chimney, and he threw a little bit of gold in like little pouches down the fireplace, and one of the stockings caught the gold, so that's how it kind of started. And then it came to America in the early 1800s, so we're talking, you know, like what, 200 years ago or something like that. I'm really bad at math.
I think you're pretty well there.
It's called math in public. Nobody wants to be put on that spot.
And the stockings accelerated really quickly. There was a few poems about it and things like that. So like in the early 1800s, everyone was getting Christmas stockings, but the problem is they were this big. And the presents, people started wanting bigger things. And so then the rage became Christmas trees for about 50 years. And then I can't imagine going to get a Christmas tree out in the country because I don't think there's a Christmas tree store.
Well, how would you like that for a gift, Chad? If you get to go out to a Christmas tree farm and cut down your own Christmas tree.
That would be really cool. I'd like that.
See? Thank you, Chad.
Well, tell me what, I'm just going to stick with my fake tree.
It's an experience,
That
Chad.
my kids can actually put together. It's that easy.
Yeah.
And they do.
You know, your kids would love to go do that, though.
They might.
Okay.
They might.
Just
I'd
saying.
send your kids out there with a handsaw.
Exactly.
That's all I need. The handsaw is going to turn into one hand.
Okay, so, and then it evolved.
It did, because then Christmas trees became all the rage, but I just thinking about getting on your horse and taking the saw and going out in the country. So all of a sudden, stockings started to expand in size the true American way. Bigger presents, less hauling from the country into the house. It was just an easier solution, and so the stockings kind of were the mainstay for a long time until probably right around World War II, and then the Christmas trees kind of became more in fashion again.
Sure.
First of all, it is fun to hear the history of this, but especially as you mentioned, 3 feet away. Keep items 3 feet away.
Combustible items. You can have whatever, and it's only when the fireplace is operating.
Yeah. Okay.
Like it can look beautiful, but when you're gonna like spark it up, make sure that we're not gonna spark the whole house up.
That's right.
And I'd like to remind our viewers, look back at the around Thanksgiving time when we were with Chad. A lot of cooking happens around Christmas time as well. So same thing. Keep using those same precautions and keep your kitchen safe.
Yeah, and the fire extinguisher.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much,
The white
Chad.
fire
The
extinguisher.
white
fire
kitchen
extinguisher.
one that we didn't know existed. Thanks, Chad.
Thanks, Chad.
And we want to mention AeroService team is available 24/7 for restoration services. They encourage you to call before a concern becomes a bigger problem.
And their office is located at 2925 East Broadway Avenue. You can stop in, just give them a call, 701-223-9249. And for more information, make sure you check out aeroserviceteam.com.